mission, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When granny's crime busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hello, Lori, Ginger. Good to see you. Anna, welcome in. Good to see you guys. Beautiful day here today. A nice breeze. I love that. All right. Let's get started with Spotlight on the Missing. We have Justin Cook, missing since July 10th, guys, which is yesterday. Last seen in Harrisburg, PA, 10 years old. He's believed to be in the Harrisburg area. So if anybody sees him or knows anything about his disappearance, please call the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania Police Department or 911. We need to bring our missing children home. Let's not forget about Jonathan Wang, 21-year-old autistic, high-functioning autistic male. Been missing since March 30th. While he is high-functioning autistic, he does only present as a 10-year-old. His social interactions have been mostly with his parents up to the point that he left. So he was believed you can see on the right-hand side, picked up by ring cam footage in the Kirkland, Washington area. His parents are searching that area. So far, nothing. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Keep your eyes open for him. Let's not forget about our buddy, Sebastian Rogers, $500,000 reward. Sebastian went missing. He was last seen February 25th, 2024, at the Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee, which is not far from Nashville. My heart just breaks for Sebastian and his dad. I can't imagine what his dad is going through. The case has become pretty cold, in my opinion, and it's been over a year. So, he needs to come home. He just needs to come home. And we also have Travis Decker, who's still on the loose. He is wanted for 3 counts of first-degree red rum and first-degree kidnapping in the deaths of his 3 precious little girls, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, seen there with their mom. If anybody does see Travis, he is considered to be armed and dangerous. Do not approach him. Just call 911 right away. There was a possible sighting. It turned out to be a false sighting. So, did he take his own life? What's going on? Because he hasn't been seen since he took the lives of his kids. So he needs to be found, dead or alive, in my opinion. Needs to be found. So let's see what we got here. Trees, hello. Hello, good to see you. Voila, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah. Yeah, it's just sad, right? Every day when I look at that National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, it just breaks my heart. You know, today we had a little 10-year-old. How sad. How sad. Just awful, awful. So today we, of course, are talking about our little ones, Jack and Lily, missing since May 2nd, 2025, from Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. I want to talk about the night before. You know, we've kind of discussed it a little bit, right? We've talked about Daniel fixing the fence, his mom filling in potholes, and taking it from behind her RV, right, to fill in potholes. And what was the reason, the purpose for it? Why did she call off a date with her boyfriend to fill in potholes on that night? It just seems suspicious, doesn't it? It just seems very, very suspicious, in my opinion. Well, evidently, Mike Demand felt the same way. So I have not watched it. You're going to get my first response to it as well. So let's go ahead. I'll make sure you guys can see it all right. All right. And see what Daniel has to say about Janie filling in potholes from the night before.
Let's go straight to Daphne's case files.
Hey, internet friends. So today I have a really
Hi, Daphne.
interesting video for you.
I hope so.
We are going to be talking about the pothole that Janie, Daniel's mother, was supposedly filling the night before Jack and Lily went missing. So this would have been Thursday night, going into Friday morning. Now,
if you look at this trashy place for her to do that, and I've said it before, I believe Thursday night was when something happened to Jack and Lily.
Look behind the kids in this photo here. You see like some gravel. It's like a lighter color behind Jack. I'll go ahead and circle that for you.
Yeah.
So that photo of Jack and Lily, it looks like they were standing there at the bus stop, waiting for the bus as they have their backpacks and look like they're ready for school, correct? Now, I have a video that is from a neighbor. This was early on in the search. This person actually searched, which I'm going to show you some video footage of that as well.
Okay.
Now, this neighbor was walking by. They were helping search, like I said, and I noticed something in the driveway. If you see the lighter colored area with the gravel, and I'm going to circle it for you right now, this looks to be the pothole maybe that Janie filled up that night. But in the previous photo that I showed you with Jack and Lily, it looks like that same.
And if it was a pothole, I mean, that means it's been a pothole for a while, for a long time. And it's interesting, that particular night, she felt a need to fill it.
Pothole. But looking at this one now, I can't zoom in really well with this picture because it will make it too blurry.
Anyways.
And we won't be able to make out exactly what it is. But it does look like a fresh pothole. I was just laughing because I said fresh pothole, but it looks like a freshly filled pothole. Not
freshly filled pothole. And
a fresh pothole, right? Oh my goodness. Hello, Bobby. Good to see you. No good news about the children. I'm sorry. But if we get news about the children, I will go live, guys. If she even did fill the potholes at that time. I do love the pot and the pothole theory, though. It's the first you've heard about that? It's been going around for a little bit, but I thought we would examine what Mike has to say about it, right? No worries, Ginger. And yes, you're absolutely right. Very weird what they did use to fill in the potholes with. Well, so let me see if I can see it here. I'm gonna. So she said that. Can you guys see that all right? I want to make sure before I start talking. She said she filled in using fill from back here. Okay. And you can kind of see how it maybe looks like she was pulling down from that. That's what she said she used. You know, I mean, I don't know. There is we tried to look at the driveway better, and I couldn't make it close enough to see what she was actually, unless these spots here were what she was trying to, I don't know, right? I don't know. But let's go ahead and listen to some more of Daniel. Or Michael, I mean.
Old pothole that has been a pothole for probably a very long time. And that night, well, I'm repeating myself, but sometimes I do that because I am just like, wow. We easily get desensitized when we have so many red flags and so many things don't make sense. And it becomes very possible that we overlook things because we are so used to the red flags. Same when I talked to my friend Lauren about it recently, about when it comes to the Proudfoots. We get desensitized by all of the red flags, where we read statements from the Proudfoots and it's like we don't even say anything anymore, because it's just like, but in reality, if we didn't know about the case, every paragraph would have, we would not be able to stop pointing out the many red flags. And this case in general has so many red flags, people. So many things that make no sense. And we need to not allow ourselves to get sidetracked at all.
That's right. Let's not get sidetracked. Cement never came into the situation, guys. Like I said, she had find that picture again. We can look at this one. She pulled from the dirt behind her RV, is what she had said, to fill in the potholes. Okay, nothing was said about cement. So unless you guys have some accurate information that I don't have, I don't think we should go there. Okay. I know, Bobby. Potholes would have to be awfully big, wouldn't they? I'm just saying. If she's worried about potholes when they should be looking at where and how they are living. I know, that's why the pothole thing and the fixing fences, not to mention it was raining, guys. It was raining. So, I mean, it's no wonder we're suspicious. The kids go missing allegedly the very next morning, but I think they were already missing by the time the potholes and the fence was worked on, my opinion. But sounds weird that they want to use money to buy cement while living in the garbage they're living in. Doesn't that sound a little weird? Again, I have not heard anything about cement, guys, so I don't know where that's coming from. Exactly. Why do it at night in the rain? Why worry about it now? Could someone have hit the kids in a car? That's another theory. Welcome back, Ginger. This was in their driveway. Oh, they found cement bags on the property? I didn't hear that. The last time children were seen is when Malehya put them to bed at 8 p.m. the night before. Okay.
At all. Not by Dickwood or anybody else coming on different channels that allow him to be on there for whatever reason. I think we know the reason, but the bottom line is we need to stay focused on the things that make absolutely no sense, be it within their own statements or be it in their actions.
I'm going to overlay the photo with Jackie and Lily, and let's see if we can kind of identify to see if it's the same hole. Now, in the photo I placed of Jack and Lily, they wouldn't be standing in that direction. If you look down at the bottom right-hand corner, it looks like they would be standing in that direction, facing that way, because you don't see anything in the background other than the sun and woods. So my question...
And by the way, I agree they were go-lucky children. She said go-lucky, not happy-go-lucky, you know? Because Malehya knows they had not much reason to be happy in this house with Daniel. But they still had a very positive attitude, I think. Even though, and Jack smiles in this one actually, even though he often had a serious face, as Belinda herself had said.
Was Janie really filling in potholes in the driveway that night? I mean, it's pitch black out there at night, as I'm about to show you. And why fill them that night? That's just odd to me. Did she hit a pothole when she was driving in from somewhere? Or does she usually fill in potholes at night? I just find that kind of odd.
Or did somebody, well, did she want to get rid of tire tracks? Was that what it was? And masking that
Sorry, guys. Here I am talking away. So let's see. So what I was saying here is, yes, same thing as with Sebastian, that they did not, nothing was said about whether he took a shower that night or anything. And, you know, if it were me, I'd be racking my brain going step by step through what we did that night and telling it, right? I mean, that's what I would be doing. And Wally, you bring up a really good point about making blocks for cheap. I mean, I don't know, but I know that the trailer isn't level. I could see that right away. Yes, the mystery just keeps getting larger and larger. That is what she told Belinda. So, okay. Well, I don't know. Cement bags. So, it's really hard to see anything. I'm just trying to. I mean, how could you tell what the cement bags were? Is somebody just saying that because they saw something and maybe right there? I don't know. But you can tell right here and by the porch, this side of that trailer needs to be leveled up because it's lower than this side. That's why the porch is falling off. But as far as cement bags, I don't know. They could have been found on the property. I think that it's very hard to see them, in my opinion. This case is a mind bender for sure, right? You tried to ask him last night. I saw that he was in there. Maybe somebody hit the kids and then hit the fence and the kids. I mean, but where the pothole is and where the fence is are two different places, right? So I don't know. I mean, why would I don't know. He was using the cement to fix the fence, so he was making. I see what you're saying. Putting cement at the bottom to hold the posts up. Hi, Victoria. Yeah, I really don't think the kids are on the property. I think they would have found them. This whole case about Jack and Lily, I've gotten plumb disturbing to me. You keep hearing something different all the time if you just listen real closely. Yeah. It is very disturbing. That's why I like to stick with facts as much as possible. I like that she's pointing out where the potholes were in this driveway. I never thought about going to the actual interviews to see where the potholes were. I never thought about that. If you read the alert that was sent out to the public on the 3rd, you can see the RCMP do not believe Daniel saw the children that morning. Interesting. Apparently, Malehya said she hadn't seen her kids since bedtime. She was up at the end of the driveway at 6. You don't go in and check on your kids. Well, Janie said she was up, and Janie also said she heard the kids that morning. So we can't believe that. We really can't, because that whole story about her, seeing Malehya out at the end of the driveway, went along with the fact that Janie heard the kids. She heard Lily screaming, and she decided to get up. And by the time she got up and got her boots on, Malehya was at the end of the driveway with Meadow in her arms and told her that the kids were in the woods, allegedly. So, and then you have Janie and Daniel's statements, which do not match each other. In my opinion, you can't trust anything that anybody has said there, right? The RCMP gave Daniel the polygraph. And they're not going to tell us if he passed or not. They said they can't give that out. So I'm sorry, but I'm not taking Daniel's word that he passed. I'm just not. Yeah. That's why it's important to try and remember. I know there's a lot, but it's important to try to remember where you heard this stuff from. I could get on board that Daniel was using the cement for the posts. He was also building that front deck, right? Which I think is kind of dumb, because I think he should have leveled the trailer before he started building the deck, because the front porch is all crooked and but okay. And if he's building the front deck, that he could have been using cement there as well, right? For the posts for the deck. So I could see that. Why are they so worried about the property? They should be out looking for Jack and Lily. I think at this point, trees, they're going to have some kind of a tip, some kind of a confession to know where to look for Jack and Lily, in my opinion. They've already done the biggest search in Nova Scotia history. And so, in my opinion, they need some kind of tip, some kind of confession as to where the kids are before they can go search. That area is too vast. And so, they're not going to spend the resources just, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, right? You don't know where you're looking. You don't know what you're doing. They need to have some kind of direction, right? They need to have some kind of direction. Yeah, that was the first day. That was Friday. The dispatch told the officer to keep Malehya home in case the kids were hiding. That's right. But that was the first day. And she did stay there. She didn't leave until Saturday. Can't believe anything about nothing they've all said. So true, Bobby. We can't. It's just, I mean, Daniel has lied. Janie and Daniel's statements don't match up. I mean, Malehya, they're it's obvious that there was a script used. So why was she using a script? I'm not saying she's 100% guilty, but I am saying she's got some guilty knowledge. Not to mention there was negligence on her part with these children, right? So I'm not giving her a free and clear pass either, right? But I'm not going to go overboard. We've had comments even under some of my videos, like from last night, somebody was saying, she's going after Daniel and she's got Cheryl and Haley doing it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Because Daniel came after Malehya first, right? It was only after that Cheryl and Haley came out and said anything. So, the infighting in this case is crazy. It's crazy. It's wrong on so many levels. But we saw it in Sebastian's case as well, didn't we? We really did. If what Janie says is true, then why did she not want them searching her trailer? It's a good point. I can't take Janie's word. I seriously, I cannot. Right now, I can't. It's bad to say it, but I can't trust anyone that was on that property that day. And some of them that have been speaking out since. And can you imagine how RCMP feels? I mean, they can't trust anybody either. I'm sure that they don't, right? But I'm sure they know a lot more than we do. But still, it's... Or what was in her cupboard that she refused. Yeah, that fateful cupboard. What was in her cupboard? There was no shovel in the cupboard. I don't think. Unless it was like one of those big, tall cupboards. It's a gravel lot hole. What is a gravel lot hole, Walla? Yeah, the tracking dogs didn't pick up a scent in the woods at all. Waterboarding time. Yeah, well, it's not up to us. I know. That's what I keep saying. Somebody's got to break. Somebody's got to break. But we've been hoping and praying for that in the Sebastian Rogers case for quite a while. And it's not happened. We could be talking the night before or crack of dawn the following morning. The kids could be God knows anywhere. Yeah. When they left wherever they were, where did they go? Were the kids with them when they got back? All that footage. I mean, the cops were looking for lots of things. Were the kids in the vehicle on May 1st when they got home, right? I mean, there's a lot of things they could be looking for in that footage. Daniel said last night that his mom has a time frame. Why not just bring it out? Yeah. But his mom's time frame and story doesn't match up to what he said. So is he going to change his story again to match his mom's now? I mean, And is anybody really going to believe her time frame? What do we need her time frame for, guys? Seriously. What do we need her time frame for? Are you going to believe it? Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to. I don't trust it. It was shortly after Malehya left the property when the RCMP put out the vulnerable person alert. In this alert, they say the children were seen the day before. So the RCMP do not believe Daniel. I agree. And here's the thing, guys. So they don't believe Jane either. Right? The children were seen the day before. So Janie said she heard them that morning. Well, okay, so she didn't see them, but she allegedly heard them. I don't think they believe Janie's story either. Honestly. Negligence is moving in with Daniel. While he has a CPS order, he cannot see his own kids. Yeah. Well, and living in a place like that. Did the place look like that when she moved in? I don't know. Right? But if it got that bad while she was living there, then she should have moved out. Super Dan, the number one person of interest, in my opinion. Yeah. I think his whole family knows something. Well, I shouldn't say his whole family. I'm going to say Janie for sure. Possibly Justin. Then the kids weren't taken home the previous night or that morning that something happened. Right? I mean, seriously, from the time that they were seen, we don't know if the RCMP saw them arriving home in the vehicle. We don't know about that, right? So if they didn't see them, I mean, it's possible there were no cars going down, so no dash cam footage from the time that they got home. So we don't know, right? We don't know if they took them. I don't know where they would take them. So I'm still leaning towards something happened that night. They should have never announced anything about the children missing if they didn't want all the speculation. I think they thought it was their out because people would have, I mean, CPS had already been at their door. So, and the school had called CPS originally. So I just think that people would have noticed if those kids were gone. Right. So they had to do something, in my opinion. Don't believe it. They are all liars. Nothing matches anything that's been said. Right. Yeah, nothing does. Anything that they have said. Right. I mean, Guys, here's a statement that Malehya made that makes no sense. Remember when she said, and they were playing outside, but we didn't know it at the time. Well, then why say that? Because you don't know that they were outside playing. Right? So it was a stupid statement she made. Really stupid statement. Exactly, Lori. The problem starts when all those people start going on social media, and that's when the chaos started. Exactly. Exactly. I agree. You think Malehya's protecting Daniel? I think she's protecting herself. We are all being led down a garden path full of potholes by the Martell McKenzie clan with broken fences along the side of us. Daniel and Malehya, the rest are covering up. I agree. I agree she should have moved out. Here's the thing that I will say, Osprey. If Malehya's text to Belinda were true about Daniel being controlling, not wanting her to take the kids over to see Belinda, then it seems to me as though there was some DV going on in that home, right? So if that's the case, it's very difficult to get out. I know that from firsthand experience. It's very difficult to get out. So I can understand why she didn't leave, except that, you know, she could have reached out to, I can imagine she was not only afraid of Daniel, but of Janie as well. We've heard Mr. Bewitched talk about the kind of woman Janie is. If he's right about that, she's a very outspoken person. Malehya is not an outspoken person. Malehya talks quiet, soft. Even Belinda described her as that. So I could see where she'd be frightened by someone like that, right? So maybe she was scared of both of them. I don't know. And if that's the case, then that makes it difficult to get out, right? It does. It makes it difficult to get out. I mean, how many of you would want your mother-in-law living within feet? I mean, no, thank you. Yeah, someone would have reported them missing, or CPS would have shown up eventually. I agree. Yeah. I think sometime Thursday night, in my opinion. Yeah. The school has a safe child policy. Yeah. Yep. Hello, Menti. I hope that's how you say your name. Why not wait till Sunday and buy a few days to cover up if that's the case? I don't know. You have to ask Malehya and Daniel. I do not know. Yeah, that was a Friday. Hello, Callie. Welcome in. She was trying to plant as many possibilities as she could to get the heat off of her. Yes. He has so many names: Durwood, Dagwood, Taryn, Bewitched. That's why we're all getting confused. I can't remember who said what now. It's true, Lori. It's true. I mean, and that's the hard part, right? That's the hard part. But think about it. There aren't many facts in this case. If we're not going to take what others say, what others have said as fact, there aren't many facts in this case. I mean, if you really think about it, all we know is the children were last seen on Thursday. So from that point on, we don't know what happened. But we do know that potholes were filled. And that Daniel was fixing the fence. In my opinion, Malehya was just repeating what manipulative Dan said to her when he lied about the blanket. She began to see the light. I want to know what was said in that briefing. My ex used to sabotage my vehicle so I couldn't get away. Yep. Oh, yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%. I don't know. I'm not going to go there. I think that labels can be put too easily on people. I was very much soft-spoken. Very much a wallflower in high school, shy. I was okay one-on-one with people, but get me in a group and I'd panic. Yeah, it was just, I was very much like that. I can assure you I don't have Asperger's or autism, nothing. So I don't know that we should go there. Daniel was overselling himself. Absolutely. Them all living together and that close to each other. Well, you hear of that. I mean, you hear of that in the hill country in the South where families live together like that, right? Sometimes it works out okay, but in this case, obviously, it didn't work well together. I listened to some locals today. What Bewitched and the Clan are doing has been done before by convicted criminals in their area. What do you mean? What they're doing? What part of what they're doing has been done by convicted criminals in their area? Fill us in, Ginger. Oh, I'm not going to go there, RCMP, because if you, or enmity, because if if you follow the Sebastian Rogers case at all, you would see that RCMP have done a fabulous job of speaking to the public compared to that case. They have talked over double the amount of times that the law enforcement in Sebastian Rogers case has done in 16 months. Over double. And it's only, we're going on 9 weeks now. So, yeah. I'm not going to go after them at all. If they don't have anything to say, then, what are they going to say? I don't know. And I'm not going to take what Daniel said as gospel. Okay. RCMP stated that they will not give any particulars about where they were seen. Lori, I don't think they have been tight-lipped at all. I mean, tight-lipped as far as facts about the case, yeah. But I wouldn't expect them to give us. But I don't believe that they've been tight-lipped at all. We need to find one channel and hopefully they are telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, Bobby. I don't know what you want. We can only tell the truth as we see it, right? And here at Granny's Crime Busters, we stick to the facts as much as we possibly can. And when people that are speaking are found to be misrepresenting the truth and giving misinformation and disinformation, then I don't take anything they say as value. How can you when they give out misinformation or disinformation, purposely trying to, the biggest thing I think that we're seeing here is, Daniel attacking Malehya, and now Malehya's friends trying to attack Daniel, and just a lot of fighting going on, right? I'm going to talk about it, tell you what's happening, but I'm not going to believe it. So Daniel and Janie were out in the dark the night before. What did they do to those precious littles, allegedly? Yeah. Honestly, Bobby, I stopped doing that. I only go if I think that, if I hear that somebody's in a chat, like last night, I heard Daniel was in a chat, just to see what I could see. I feel like I have an obligation to you, my family here, to know what's going on. But again, I'm only going to believe basically what RCMP says at this point, because everyone that has spoken in this case has proven false at one time or another. So I can't take their word for anything anymore. You're the same way with socializing. Yeah. I was just like that. I got better over the years. But I'm still, putting me in a big crowd of people. I'm not gonna, when Brenda Jo gets back, you can ask her. I'm not that way. which frustrates her a lot. And by the way, guys, thank you for praying for her. She did have a bad reaction to some medication that they gave her. They're putting her on a different medication. They still need to figure out what overall is going on with her. So keep her in your prayers. Yeah. Why they're out at night doing so-called things. It's pitch black. You can't see anything. Plus, it was raining. It was raining. So what were they doing and why? The pothole thing, guys, I'm telling you, something's not right there. A renting scam happening on that property. Okay. He's still overselling himself to the YouTubers that are wanting to bag him on their show. Yeah. No thanks. No thank you. Sorry, guys. If you're looking for that, you're in the wrong place. Hello, Tammy. Yeah. They're building a case behind the scenes. They know a lot more than we know, Lori, right? I was just hearing another YouTuber say that the RCMP gave lots of details in that Montreal mother abandoning her kid case, and they ended up finding the kid pretty quick. So, gotcha. Well, that was a totally different case, in my opinion. I think our CMP knew this was a criminal case pretty early on. I think that they all have dirt on each other. What bothers me is they are focused on themselves. Daniel's lying constantly, not focused on the two lost little ones, not using their names. He doesn't, they're not his kids. He doesn't care. As much as he wants us to think he cares, he doesn't. He doesn't care. Nothing Daniel has said can be trusted. Nothing that Bewitched has said can be trusted, in my opinion. Gotcha. Yeah. Rightly so. Yep. Is the dirt relevant to the kids? And if it's not, is it what they're fighting between themselves. They're trying to make each other look bad. Daniel's trying to paint Malehya as being mentally ill. And the gist of what I got from the other side is that they're trying to paint him as a drug addict. Who knows, guys? Yes, Tammy, I agree with you. A big shout out for finding that baby girl. Oh, that precious baby girl who listened to that deranged mother and sat there for 3 days. I want to find her and hug her. What a good baby. A 3-year-old. What a good baby. I mean, guys, you've had 3-year-olds. How many 3-year-olds would stay put when you tell them to stay put? Seriously. It's not you, and I do believe that you are telling the truth, and thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it. But I understand your frustration out there, and I have to say I'm not angry with any creators. I'm not trying to make any look bad. I just really disagree when it comes to wanting families of missing children to talk on our channels. I don't feel it's right. I don't think it helps anything. That is when all chaos happens. And that's exactly what happened in this case. That's exactly what happened in Sebastian's case. I don't know if that's what happened in Summer's case because I wasn't following it at the time, but I would lay odds that that is what happened. You know, professionals, fine, but the average YouTube creator out here, no, right? You know, it puts them in a bad situation. The only media they should be talking to, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, guys, is mainstream media. Even then, you got to kind of be careful, right? But mainstream media is all they should be talking to, and all that they should be saying to them is, please help me find my child, right? Right. There was apparently tons of updates in that case. I mean, I don't know about tons. I watched that case. I followed that case very closely because I don't know, that just a little girl, it just broke my heart. She was just a sweet little thing. You spoke to RCMP today. What'd they have to say, Tammy? Ginger, do you think they're going to give you the truth? They're not going to give you the truth, hon. They just are not. I felt it was odd she was out with a shovel the night before, but I feel like Malehya would out Dan and Janie if it was I think that they're all in on it together, in my opinion. I think Malehya has guilty knowledge. She knows what happened to her children, but I don't think she knows where the children were placed, in my opinion, where they were disposed of. So they're all afraid to talk, I think. Someone needs to crack, though, in my opinion. Someone needs to crack and say something. Everyone was wanting to see if the cadaver dogs were used, and if not, they wanted to start a GoFundMe for this. So I called and asked them today. They confirmed they were used. Okay, awesome. Did they tell you any results from that? I imagine they wouldn't. If something had been found, we would have known by now, obviously. Hello, Bonnie. Good to see you. Yeah, allegedly by day 2, they knew it was criminal. Well, he can say all he wants that he was asking for cadaver dogs, but RCMP told us that it was their next step, but they never told us that they did it. So, you know, Dan can say all he wants. You know, didn't we hear back that from RCMP that I forget who said it, that they gave the polygraph tests, and they give them not because somebody asked for them, but because they think it's going to help the investigation. So he can ask or say he did something all he wants, but he likes to think that he has said he's got friends on the RCMP, whatever, right? Doesn't matter if he does, because they're going to do what they're going to do, not because Dan says they should. He is nothing. He's nobody in the, as far as the stepfather in this case and a possible suspect. They're not going to do what he says. The only one I trust and believe, hello, Joanne, is Grandma B, Belinda. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't believe that. And unless that comes from Malehya herself, I'm not going to believe it. We know nothing of the sort. The dispatcher put me on hold and asked the officer. She said every resource was sourced out. Now I'm really suspecting it's going cold. It's too cold. I mean, it's too cold. It's too soon to be a cold case, Tammy. I would not believe that it's cold yet. I honestly believe that they have information. They're dotting their I's. They're crossing their T's. They have, and when I say dotting their I's and crossing their T's, I think they have, that means calling in the cadaver dogs, doing every possible thing that they could do in the investigation in this case. Doesn't mean that they don't have anything. Yeah, Detective Dan, Super Dan, runs through wastewater, runs ahead of helicopters and drones. Kids were extra baggage for Daniel. You know what, though? They were also extra money for Daniel. He forgot about that. Yeah. Test new angles. Yeah. Yeah. You know that they're listening very closely, guys. They're listening very closely because there's leakage that comes out, right? Leakage comes out when you talk. They're going to let Daniel talk till he's blue in the face because leakage comes out. Yeah. I asked her what to say on platform. All tips were followed up on, new ones still coming in. Yeah. As long as they have tips coming in, guys, it's not cold. Tell them all sources were used. Yeah. Well, you know what, Tammy? That's a good thing. That means they are doing what they needed to do in this case. Every source has been used. That case reminds you of Casey Anthony. Yeah. Yeah, she said the police officer was talking to her for like 40 minutes. Yeah. I saw that one. You know, maybe he was hitting on her. Maybe she was talking and he was listening. Guys, officers will do that. They will do that. No. They interviewed 56 people. They didn't say how many polygraphs they gave. They would not do 56. Hello, Ariel. Good to see you. Welcome in. And I agree with you 100%. They see right through Daniel. Yep, they do. They're waiting. They're trying to find the bodies. That's what they want. He thinks he's in charge. They're letting him think that. Yeah. Hello, Sandra. Welcome in. If the dogs didn't get anything, what's next? Why do you think they're letting Daniel talk? Leakage. Plus, they're going to follow every single tip that they've got. Guys, it's a lot of man hour to go through the hundreds of hours of videotape and CCTV coverage that they got. That's a lot of manpower. It takes a long time to go through that. Everybody wants answers yesterday, but guys, you know, they have other cases that they work on as well. But, you know, it takes a long time to go through that stuff. It does. And they have to have fresh eyes on it because can you imagine sitting and watching CCTV video hours on end? And you have to watch every single second because you could miss something. I don't know about you, but that'd be a pretty boring job. Yes, absolutely true. They would instantly detect a body if it happened at the home. It takes seconds of death in an area for a dog to pick up that scent, but the children never got home. That's true. An ex-police officer was on a channel saying she'd been talking to him. She offered him a lawyer. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Well, you know, we all want answers, don't we? Because we want answers for those two babies, right? We do. I'm not going to lie. I want answers yesterday. Absolutely. But we have to let them do their job. You know, okay, let's see here. They're probably worn out responding to people reporting Durwood. And you know, Sandra, we laugh, but that is very true. Every time they get a tip complaining about somebody or something, they have to look into it. Can you imagine the amount of man hours following false leads and complaints have gone into this case so far? I can't even imagine. Yes, we need to keep the faith. Let them keep working. Take a drink here. We are going to go ahead and listen for a minute.
Because you don't want to be, the last thing you want is law enforcement to examine something and then say, wait a minute, like it looks like they are partial tire tracks. And it looks like somebody tried to make him, go away, and somebody swept over them to make him disappear. But a couple of them, there are still some showing up. So what's a better way than saying, hey, I was working on the driveway and I had to do what I had to do to mask the real action there. That would be my guess.
As usually, if you're filling in some kind of hole, you're going to do it during the day. But who knows? What do you guys think about this?
Well, what do you guys think about this? What do you think I'm thinking? Now, of course, it makes no sense. Yeah, I think it was exactly what it was. To get rid of tire tracks. Some activity at night. And they knew. And Janie is deep in it, man. I'm telling you, deep in it. And she wanted Lily gone from that property because of her screaming and getting the dog to bark, and probably especially that night when she already went to sleep. Remember, Daniel said she woke up from her nap. No, it wasn't a nap. She probably had already gone to bed that Thursday night.
I find it odd. Comment below and let me know what you think about it. Now, I'm going to show you a video of how dark it is there at night.
I have no doubt.
So some of you might have seen this video. The gentleman who lives next or close to Jack and Lily. Look how dark it is out there.
Oh my
yes,
God.
They have a porch light, but who is going to be filling holes at night in the pitch black?
Yep.
Now, the next clip I'm about to show you is this gentleman is the one that had the confrontation with Daniel Martell's father, Earl, I believe his name is. Now, the person has...
So I guess Daniel's father's alive still, right? I don't know.
Taken that video down. If you do have that video, could you please send it to me? I would really appreciate
send it to her.
But we are going to continue to show you how dense the woods are because this gentleman went out and searched for Jack and Lily. Now, would two children actually run off in the woods like this? When I show you how dense these woods are and how wet and soggy everything is, it just makes me to believe that they did not run in the woods. But
they did not run off into the woods.
Duh. They did not run in the woods. Police sometimes just keep you talking, yes, especially if you're a suspect. They're going to want you to talk and talk and talk and talk. They're going to listen to you all day long. Okay, so hello, BBB. I pray Jack and Lily are found alive, but if not, justice needs to be served. This is getting pathetic. I agree with you 100%. Kids need to be found. Emery spewing out speculations like Bewitched. Aw, thank you, Walla. If you received a membership from Walla, please say thank you. And
Granny wants to thank you all for kindness in the chat. Super stickers, bright and grand, gift gifts of love we understand.
Memberships you gifted here spread the joy and banish fear. Every super thanks you send warms her heart and ends the end.
Granny cheers with love so true for each special thing you do. Thank you from her heart. You all play a major part.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Oh, and a super sticker too. Wow, Lacey. You get both of them. All right. So, yeah, definitely couldn't outrun adult search teams in Wood with only a -2 head start. Yeah. Yeah. Mike is amazing. You know, as far as this goes, what he's talking about here isn't really statement analysis, is it? And he's just kind of giving us his thoughts. Same as what we're doing when we look at it, right? So, oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm glad. We're happy to have you here. Yeah, Lily had no pants on and Jack had no shirt on. They did not walk out of the home. Duh. As Mike says, duh. Yeah. Yeah. They wouldn't have done that. Well, you know, we do want the truth, but when somebody has told lie after lie, change the story. I mean, you can't, right? And yes, we want the truth, but you're not going to get it there. Seriously, you're not, you know, all you can hope for is that when he's talking to the RCMP like he's doing, that they're catching the leakage and that they're getting the truth out of him. That's all we can really hope for right now. Unless somebody cracks. They're building their case, Bobby. They're building it. They want to make sure that there's a conviction. Oh, always. I enjoy the time here with you guys. I really do. I wouldn't do it if I didn't, honestly. Life's too short. You got banned from a channel chat earlier for just saying what Daniel was saying last night? Wow. See, here I want everybody to feel safe to say what they think and their opinions, right? I don't want anyone to bring up other creators in the chat. You know, unless it's somebody that we're showing their stuff and we're talking, you know, in relation to, like Mike right now. Totally different scenario, but and the reason that I just want to preface that the reason that I don't want to bring up other creators is because of the hate that started in the Sebastian Rogers case, right? I have done a very good job of staying out of that. And while there are some creators I like to listen to, there are others that I do not and don't necessarily agree with their opinions on things. I'm never going to tell you who they are. everybody has their own right to listen to whoever they want to, right? But here, I'm not going to get down on anybody for taking a side one way or the other, right? I may have to say I agree to disagree with you, but you have that right. You have that choice. As long as we're not getting after each other in the chat and we're being kind and respectful, that's all I ask. Hello, Neural. Hi, everyone. Just came in to video of neighbors showing how dark it is. Is this the neighbor that said there was a rug party and Super D didn't seem to like it in the interview? No, I think she was just trying to show how dark it is out there at night because we were talking about the potholes being fixed at night and the fence, right? So why was Janie doing potholes in that dark when it was raining? And why was Daniel fixing the fence in the dark on Thursday night? I mean, something's wrong with that. Something is seriously wrong with that, in my opinion. I'm not sure what to make of it, but I think there's something wrong. Lacey looks like a much loved dog we had. His name was Hector. Yeah, she is a sweetheart. Very loyal. Very loyal. She is half golden retriever and half Australian shepherd. And I got to tell you, I would never have that mix again. she's going on 12 years old next month. And she still acts like a little puppy. She's very hyper. And yes, she herds me everywhere we go in the house. And now that I'm getting older, it scares me because I'm afraid she's going to trip me up. Let me see here. Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. We all, I was watching what Dan said last night. We didn't go over all of it. Mainly because I don't believe him. But I'm not afraid for anybody to say what he said. Yeah, licking the lies from his lips, right, Bonnie? Yes, definitely. Yeah, Darren comes in and out. Yeah. He doesn't like when people disagree with him. And he gets very rude. I've seen him do that in chat. He came in that chat and said something and he was booted. Good. Yeah, I try to. But the whole time that I have been going live, I've had very few people give me a hard time. But I think it's because me and my lovely mods, we have nipped it in the bud right away. And people know that I just don't, I don't put up with that. The main road is so dark you could drive down that unsuspected, maybe an ATV. Yeah. He's making the rounds. I think he, I wouldn't doubt if he hasn't been in here in the bushes, but he's never come out in our chat. Janie's got a gun, right? People need to be more objective when people involved. Maybe Darren would have given us a new tidbit we'd never have known, but we'll never know. I don't know. I'm not going to say that, Ementi, and the reason that I'm not going to is I don't know why or what he said that he was booted, but if anyone attacks anyone in my chat, they'll be booted. Even so much as if you're disagreeing with somebody in the chat, and you kind of say, come on, folks, something like that, you're not going to make it here, because I will not allow anyone to disrespect anyone in my chat. You guys are all like family to me, and I won't allow that here. So, the way I look at it, we're all adults, and we need to treat each other as we would want to be treated. And so, I won't allow it in my chat. So, yes, retrievers are beautiful dogs, and the shepherd is a high energy dog. I will never have another shepherd again. Don't get me wrong. I love my Lacey. I love her to pieces. But yeah, oh, can you give us a full theory of what happened, in my opinion? A full theory of what happened. Well, it's hard to know, but thank you, Walla. I appreciate you. My goodness sakes. So I think they did make it home. I think they did. I think Malehya did put them to bed. I think when they got up that next morning, the children, and they weren't supervised, they got into something. And I think it was rugs. And keep in mind, this is my opinion. This is my speculation, guys. And it could be wrong, right? And I think that they panicked because they had already had CPS at their house. And that's why I believe that Malehya knew, right? She knew that something was wrong. I think when they went out, they weren't looking in the woods. The children were in the house and they were gone. That's what I think. I think the kids got into rugs. They were gone by the time that they realized they couldn't hear them anymore. That's my opinion. And then I believe that Daniel, possibly his brother, took them to the Bay of Fundy. That's what I think. And dumped them. Never to be seen again. That's what I think. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. The only thing that doesn't fit into that, and that's kind of why I was looking at it today, is this whole pothole fence garbage going on the night before. So I don't know what that's about. did the kids maybe get into rugs the night before when they got home? I mean, I don't know, right? So I don't know. I think Super Dan was triggered by the thumbnail of that live, so he couldn't help himself. Possibly. Daniel reminds you of Chris Watts. He was rude twice and got booted. Yeah. People were just giving opinions and he didn't like that. Well, all right. So I am going to say this. That chat that we're talking about, they allow too many things to be said in there, in my opinion. It's not a safe place. You never see me in that chat, ever. It's not a safe place. I don't feel. There were some things after people knew that Daniel was in there. There were some things being said to Daniel and they weren't booted. So, I mean, guys, I would seriously hope that if Daniel came in here or Malehya, that nobody here would ever call him or her a red rummer in our chat. I don't think that anybody would do that here. I don't think any of you have that in you, but it doesn't matter who comes in, right? We want to treat them with respect, and that's not what was happening last night. So yeah. But sharing opinions, absolutely, right? Sharing opinions always. And ENT, please don't bring up other creators in here, okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. Your next granny for Durwood. Oh, I don't think so. I think he knows what the channel stands for. I'm not saying he hasn't been in the bushes, but I've gotten a few dislikes, and I kind of wondered if it wasn't him or Daniel or somebody. Who admitted? Durwood? Bewitched? Exactly, Lori. We all respect each other. We all respect each other's opinions. You know, we just do in here. And, you know, if we stay small, if the channel stays small, but we have this kind of, you know, camaraderie, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Because my goal is not to be a drama channel. Don't want it. Yeah, the pothole situation is very disturbing. It really is. I don't know where it fits into my scenario. So my scenario could be wrong. My scenario could be wrong. Absolutely, Tammy. Absolutely. You bring up a really good point. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of stopped trying to find things to talk about for Sebastian. Because seriously, I mean, there's no news coming out, right? And so, and all it was some real hateful stuff going on, very hateful. And, it was like, okay, I do not want any part of this, you know, not gonna slander anybody, any creator, you know, I just not any creator. It's just not happening. And Yeah, you have to be very, very careful. And I don't think it's happened in this case yet, but in Sebastian's case, guys, they were actually going into people's chats and they were screenshotting what people were saying and sending it to the police. So my whole thought was, okay, I'm not putting my people, my channel family through that, right? That's why I always tell you guys to put IMO, in my opinion. And you're all very careful about what you say. We can have opinions on what we think, right? We can. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you take it to the next level, that's when it gets, when it steps over the line, then you can be in trouble for it. And yeah. And nobody knows that. I talked with Ginger about that in depth during the Sebastian Rogers case because it was getting really, really bad. There was a video out about the dispatch talking about a black SUV being there when the blanket was found. Hello, JDR, by the way. I thought I heard that vehicle was checked and ruled out. Somebody, if you know, please tell me. Well, he was being fed information, and I think I think the person that was giving him the information realized it wasn't working. Was your first theory? Yeah. In my opinion, and just my theory, the children got up in the middle of the night and Super D silenced them both, then called Janie for help. Ooh. Okay. Gotcha. You know, it's a possibility. My only thought about that is, and I know I place a lot of importance on it, but, you know, Mr. Yummy, Deception Detective, has said that he didn't feel that Daniel was a red rummer. So that's why I've gone with the accident theory. Did he give him too much medication? I mean, that to make him go to sleep? I mean, I don't know. But I just feel like, what if Dan and Janie are not lying about the timeline that morning now? Well, here's the thing. Dan's narrative and Janie's narrative don't match. So who are you talking about for a timeline? Seriously. Right? Daniel said Malehya was still in bed. Scenario, the narrative is completely different from what Janie has said. Daniel said Malehya was in bed sleeping. Janie said Malehya got up and the kids were outside. She heard them. And by the time she got outside, Malehya was standing with Meadow outside. So their narratives don't match. Now, do you see why I won't go with their timeline? I know you're trying to be objective. I get that. But do you understand why I don't go with their timeline? They both, their narratives don't match. Mother and son's narratives do not match. That's what I thought, Neryl. I thought that the black SUV was ruled out. Feels like it's getting a little late for objectivity. They panicked and disposed of the kids. Whatever happened, I think that there was a panic and they disposed of them. It's the first time does a lick of work around that dump and he does it at night. Yeah. I'd like to know what time he was working on the fence, what time she was filling in the potholes. And you feel they were moved by the ATV. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anything's possible, right? Didn't the pothole story come from Dagwood? I mean, that's a good point, Bonnie. It could have. But that's a good point. So maybe they weren't fixing. Oh, Lord. I don't know, right? I don't know. It did look like in this video that was being shown here, that pothole looked freshly filled in. So I don't know. Again, do you really believe Malehya would have? Come on, they were her children. Do you really think she would have been playing on her phone instead of calling 911 for her kids? Exactly, Sandra. People don't want to seem to go with that theory. They want to think that, oh, it was closer. They had plenty of time to go to the Bay of Fundy and back. Seriously, in the middle of the night, nobody would have seen them go to the Bay of Fundy, drop those kids just as the tide's getting ready to wash out. It takes everything, right? I'm just saying. Nobody believes me. But, I mean, Sandra, we could be wrong. I feel like all the channels are just saying it lies outright, so I feel like I have to push it. Well, I hope you're not feeling like you're getting bad heat here, Ementi. We're just always going to test it, right? We're always going to test it. You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to question and to see, nothing wrong about that. Nothing wrong about that. We're not trying to give you bad heat at all. You've walked on the mud flats of the Bay of Fundy at low tide. Oh, I'd be afraid to walk on the mud flats. Oh my gosh. I have a fear of drowning, so I don't think I could do it. I just don't, knowing even that it's every 6 hours, I still don't think I could do it. No, Ementi, not a problem. That's what we're all here for, to figure out what's real, what's not, right? What if? I mean, that's what we're all here to ask. What if, right? When their narratives are different, then the timeline's not going to make sense, in my opinion. Not seen who in any chat yet, Bobby. I have seen both Daniel and Bewitched in chat. Yeah, it could get in a lot of trouble interfering. You know, do I think that somebody's going to end up with obstruction of justice charges in this case? Absolutely. I don't know who yet, but I think that's going to happen. I honestly do. Yes. Darwood. Yes, I know what you meant. Durwood. Durwood, Dagwood, Darren, Bewitched. Janie probably all meffed up and did pothole at night, not thinking about anything about it. I mean, it could be as simple as something like that, right? Was that what was in her cupboard that you didn't want the police to see? You know, here's the thing. If you had rugs, kind of hard to get rid of them when they got scent dogs around. I mean, I would think you're stuck. You can't. The only thing you could do is do them down a toilet, couldn't you? But wouldn't the dog still get the scent from there as well? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, be kind of hard to get rid of if you already have rugs at your house. Well, she said that she used I'm going to show it again. The fill from behind her RV here is what she used to fill in the potholes with. That's right. He did say that last night, that he didn't use the HEV in the search. But once again, I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. Yes, it's mucky, but when that water comes in, it's a different story. It's fast and powerful. Oh, yep. No, thank you, Sandra. You're brave. I couldn't do it. Would they be that stupid to use their biological name if they came in the chat? Yeah, they are. They are absolutely using their biological name in chat. If you're talking about, well, so Darren Geddes Durwood O'Grady. He uses his Durwood O'Grady handle. And Daniel uses his Daniel Martel channel. So yes, he has been. And I don't know if that channel has live replays, but go and watch the channel and see it in there, see them in there. Thank you, Tammy. That means a lot. I agree. But I'll tell you this, Tammy. Everything that I saw in the Sebastian Rogers case, none of those people lost their channels, and they're still up to their garbage. So, all I'm going to say, guys, is that here's what I'm going to say about those type of channels. As long as people keep clicking and watching, they're always going to be there. And it amazes me how many people love drama. It amazes me. Absolutely amazes me. So, for a while in the Sebastian Rogers case, I would click in to listen to what they're saying. And then I realized I am supporting them just by clicking in. Even if you give them a thumbs down, guys, that helps the channel. So it's best to ignore them 100%, But again, it's up to everybody, each on their own, to follow whoever they want to follow. It's a free country. At least America is. Yes. Live chat can be saved and used against you in a court of law. You've got to be very careful. Oh, yeah. You won't see that here, Ementi. I always tell you I could be wrong. And there has been 1 or 2 times where I have been wrong, and I don't have a problem coming on and saying it. Oh, yeah, it is. It's bad. I think police know that. Police know that. They know that from Dylan Ayler's case. They know that from Sebastian Rogers, especially Summer Wells. We can agree to disagree, but the hatred, wow, yeah. I agree. And that's when it steps over the line, Tammy, the hatred. Going after each other in chat and, just because you don't agree with what someone is saying, that's what's wrong. That's when the hatred starts. And I mean, even when people put comments after my video is all done, after my live stream is all done, and it's a hateful comment, they get banned. I don't want that crap here. I won't take it. Life's too short. You guys don't need to see it. I don't need to put up with it. Life's too short. See, and I just really don't. I don't place any or very little significance on the ATV at all. Because I think a vehicle was used to take those kids to the Bay of Fundy. That's my opinion. But again, I could be wrong. You can get trapped in the clave, and that's scary. Yeah. Yuck, 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 yuck. No, thank you. You guys are giving me horror stories about the Bay of Fundy. I used to think when I first saw it that it'd be kind of cool to go see, but no, no, thank you. I'm sorry that happened to you, Ementi. That's wrong. Yeah, that's my question. Why did Janie leave her boyfriend, come home early to fill in potholes? Yeah, that's true. Stats say children that young are usually suffocated or strangled by family. That is very true. That is statistics, guys. The speculation is that Madeline McCann was given too much medication to help her sleep and she OD'd. You know, that's very possible, JDR. Ementi, I don't believe anything Daniel has to say, honestly. I really don't. I just really don't. Hello, Anne. No, that's probably not going to be for weeks yet. It takes them a while to edit and put those out. And the interview just happened yesterday, so I would think it's weeks out yet. I know. I know. We knew that. We knew that he said that, but I just don't believe it. That's what she said, Bobby. She woke up in and out of sleep, right? Dozing. Heard the kids, dozed back off, and got up later, and they were gone, right? Yeah. That's what she said. But then Daniel said the same thing, but reversed it later on. Oh, yeah, definitely. I really do think that's where it started, for sure. Absolutely. Hello, No More Lies. Good to see you. Right? Children are missing. They're working on well, were the children missing yet at that point? I mean, I don't know. We don't know. Could be, right? Could be. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Sebastian Rogers too. And in this case, guys, children just don't go poof. They're not little ninjas. And that's why I seriously, with all my heart, believe something nefarious happened. They did not leave on their own accord. None of them. Summer, Sebastian, or Jack and Lily. I do not believe that. Something happened. according to what is said about users, they can have great bursts of energy and have to move. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, why isn't that yard cleaned up then? I'm sorry. Oh man. Yes, if you're going to believe it. Right trees, normal parents get up early, they give their children breakfast, change a pull up, right? Yeah. Yeah. Even if you have a baby sleeping, right? Even if you have a baby that's still sleeping, but your 6-year-old and your 4-year-old are out in the kitchen making noise, you're going to get up and feed them and change their pull up. It's just how I feel about all these cases. No more lies. Exactly. Oh, you're talking about Summer Wells? Yes. And telling Chris McDonough to go down there, and he didn't even want to walk down it. I don't blame him. And then there was P O R N on the TV when he went down there. Yeah. That was awful. When I saw that interview, I was in tears because it was awful. Oh, guys, today on Primetime Video, I don't know if any of you have Primetime, but oh my gosh, it just came out today. It's the story of the Idaho 4. It's a documentary, and it's 4 parts, 4 episodes. I watched all 4 today. I was in tears. It was really, really good. So I encourage you all to go and watch that if you followed the Idaho 4 case at all. It was incredible. Hi, Blair. 6 a.m. washout. That's a good point, Ementi. Malehya could have been texting family. We know that her mom showed up pretty quickly. So yeah, that was traumatic. And if Daniel didn't like Malehya contacting her family, she had to be secretive in doing so. Yes, I feel very strongly that there was some kind of DV going on in that case. I really do. The perpetrator's vehicle would be on 100 CCTV cameras if they headed far out to the Bay of Fundy. Yes. But get this, guys, we're only 9 weeks in. Takes a while to get that information and go through it. So just saying. Doesn't mean they don't have it. Look how long it took them to arrest Brian Koberger. So it takes a while to get that information. That's a good point, JDR. If anyone looked up their devices, the tides in the Bay of Fundy that night, that would be a clue for police. Also, if they erase their search histories, that could be significant. Could be wrong, but everything that I heard about the Bay of Fundy, the tides are always huge. At least 30 feet every time. That's a lot of water, guys. But can be anywhere up to 50 feet. It's a lot of water coming in and going out. Imagine living like that and then going to a friend's house with normal parents. Yeah. Or having friends come over to their house. Can you imagine what those friends think? Oh my gosh. There is a basin. It's an hour and 45 minutes, I believe, from their home when I looked it up last. But that basin has and it flows into the Bay of Fundy. But that basin has a narrow opening to the Bay of Fundy. And it looks like things could get caught up in there, in my opinion. Ementi, it's a known fact that women who have been in a toxic relationship tend to pick the same kind of man. I'm just saying. Not always, but it's basically true. And you have to remember that Belinda was the mother of Jack and Lily's dad. So if Daniel had any jealousy toward Cody Sullivan, who is the father of Jack and Lily, it would make sense why he wouldn't want Malehya to take the kids over there for a visit in the odd chance that Cody would be there. Jealousy's huge. Yes, Meadow will have abandonment issues, poor thing. Maybe the rugs are in the pothole. You would think the scent dogs would have found them. Well, you have a right to your opinion. I just don't believe it. I believe that she's a victim of DV from Dan, in my opinion. Her trailer looks like a grow up. I'm just trying to get caught up here, guys. Okay, so his name is Darren Geddes. He has an alias that he uses on YouTube, and that alias is Durwood O'Grady. No, yeah, Durwood O'Grady. So here we were laughing because if you know if you've ever watched the show Bewitched, Samantha's husband name was Darren, and Samantha's mother called him Durwood. And so that's why we call him Bewitched here. Dagwood, people are getting confused with because Dagwood was Blondie's husband. So, I mean, I don't know why that came in, but people are calling him Dagwood as well. That's right. We're all getting a little weary, frustrated. Yeah. What are you talking about, Tammy? Why are you wounded? This is the last place you should be wounded. Yeah, trauma is awful for these kids. Calling someone to come and help. I agree. I think that she probably was. We know that her mom got there fairly quickly. So I think that's what she was doing. Hello, Mama Angie. Good to see you. All right. Guess you have to be aware of the dangers in the bay. Durwood will be in a pothole because he failed his mission. Can you give us a zoomed in version of the RV? It won't let me zoom. One of these days I'm going to have to download them all and save them. It was about the best I could do. It doesn't really show you much. I know. And see, Tammy, that is why I think the children won't be found, because whatever happened to them, if their bodies can't be found, then without a confession, see what I'm saying? And I agree with you. It makes me sad to say what I just said, right? So, yeah. Yeah, hundreds of hours of dash cam video. Me too. That's a really good point, JDR. The current case with the 17-year-old who is charged with offing her parents, it took 6 months after their untimely demises before she was charged. It takes a while to put together a case. Look at the Dan Markel case. It's 10 years later, and Donna, Wendy Adelson's mother, hasn't even gone to trial yet. So guys, it does take a while. No, I haven't heard anything about. Oh, you're talking about Sebastian? She said she hollered out to him and he answered her. But yeah, I don't even know if the thud is real, honestly. The kids didn't go into the woods, they weren't abducted, so that leaves one option. Exactly. I mean, that's a possibility. I just don't believe, I think that they were put in the Bay of Fundy, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. All right, let me look. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what that is. It's a ghost table. I don't know, Walla. Your guess is as good as mine. Yes, Sandra, it does give me the willies. I can't do it. I wouldn't be. Yeah, no. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's true, Ginger. Daniel said the children wouldn't cross the road. He told them not to search that side. But that's the side that they got the trail camera from. Yeah, I've heard that Malehya found another guy too. I mean, we just don't know, right? So just going to try to get caught up here real quick before we call it a day. Wow, we're on 2.5 hours. Hello, Amanda. Will we ever know what set these series of events off? I mean, exactly. Will we ever know? Because we can't believe everything we're hearing, right? So I mean, I think that we are going to see a court case with this. And at that point, then, things will start coming out. But until then, I don't think so. All right. So, going to do our grannyism for today, which kind of fits. It is almost always the cover up rather than the event that causes trouble. Right? This cover up is going to create more charges for whoever's involved than if they would have called the RCMP to begin with, right? And told them the truth. Oh, Walla, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Lisa. That's really true. Sometimes people can, or if you think about it, Donna's daughter in the Adelson case, right? Wendy, she was given partial immunity, but she can still be charged for anything that she says outside of what she testified to. So yeah. So anyway, guys, I think whoever is responsible, and I think we all kind of have our own thoughts on that, right? The cover up. They're going to be sorry they ever tried to cover anything up, honestly. The charges are going to be more and worse because of it. And the longer that it goes on, not to mention, can you imagine living with that kind of guilt? Eat you up inside. Eat you up inside. All right, guys. So we're going on 2.5 hours. I want to thank you all for being here. Please, please, please hit the like button on your way out. That does help the channel grow. And we will see you tomorrow night. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.